Well, good afternoon. Thank you. And welcome to the 2015 J.K. Russell Research Conference. I'm Bob Russell, the founder and director of CTNS, and the Ian G. Barber Professor of Theology and Science here in residence at the GTU. As most of you know, the mission of CTNS is to promote a creative mutual interaction between theology and science. And we do this through three program areas: research, teaching, and public service. I think our core program, the J.K. Russell Fellowship, is unique in covering all three of those program areas. Today is the research program. Our fellow led a wonderful class session Thursday for MDiv and doctoral students, participated in a doctoral seminar on Friday, and she did the public forum on Thursday evening. So we have seen all three of the program areas represented in this one person. My wife and my mom and I set up the J.K. Russell Fellowship at the beginning of CTNS, on my dad, who's a philanthropist, and to bring distinguished scholars to the GTU to work with our faculty, doctoral and seminary students, the local Bay Area folk, and to also begin to develop resources online, thanks in so much part to Adrian Meyer, who has been such a great participant in the board and has done so much leading for us. It's a distinct pleasure and honor to introduce Professor Noreen Herzfeld as this year's J.K. Russell Fellow. Noreen was here and did her PhD in theology in the year 2000. I was extremely privileged to be her chair of the committee, and her dissertation was published in an extraordinary book, In Our Image: Ancient Questions Posed Anew by AI, or Artificial Intelligence and the Human Spirit. And if you haven't read it, I recommend it very strongly. It's an incredibly helpful book that looks at this really subtle question of why do we sort of fall in love with and imagine computers to be like us? And conversely, why do we think of us in some reductive terms as merely a computer? Both of those are questions I think we all tend to flirt with and to think about and be affected by. So Noreen does a really nice analysis of the Imago Dei in the theological tradition, three interpretations of it, and then finds an analogy with the way we look at computers in three different ways. So I won't say more, I want you to read the book, but it's an extraordinary book. Noreen is the Nicholas and Bernice Rauter Professor of Science and Religion at St. John's University and the College of St. Benedict. She holds degrees in computer science and mathematics from Penn State University, and as I said, PhD right here from the GTU in 2000. She teaches courses in both the Department of Computer Science and the Department of Theology at St. John's and the College of St. Benedict, reflecting her two primary research interests. So she brings two interests to her work and to us today: the intersection of religion and technology, and religion and conflict. And she's published a variety of books on it, and I urge you to take a look at the details in your handout for today and rush to Amazon during the break. I like to read this last piece of her statement because I think it really embodies so much of her work. She has published numerous articles on such diverse topics as cyberspace as a venue for spiritual experience. That we can have a spiritual experience through a venue like cyberspace. It's a really intriguing claim, and I urge you to ask her questions about that. She sees embodiment as a sine qua non for personhood. This is in distinct opposition to the usual reductionist claim in the artificial intelligence community that we are thinkers, and embodiment is a secondary, even necessary feature. Maybe we could just exchange our bodies for some sort of hardware. And the religious implications of computer games. And why are we so fascinated with computer games? Why do some of our kids spend 20 and 30 hours a week playing computer games instead of playing the piano? And she has also been highly involved in a very different part of the land, the world, both figuratively and intellectually. She has worked hard for reconciliation among Christians and Muslims in Bosnia. I find that to be incredibly impressive, a mark of her character, her virtue. So it's a pleasure to have Noreen here. She's a dear personal friend, extraordinary scholar. I think you'll find the lecture very stimulating. Let me just say our format briefly. After Noreen's lecture, we'll have basically 3 respondents. And Ted, my dear colleague at the LTS, will be hosting that part of the event, introducing them to you, and sort of managing the time. There'll be times for you all to raise questions, and of course there'll be a break when you can come and meet Noreen personally. So basically we'll go that way, and then around 4:30 we'll begin to conclude, and I have the privilege of announcing this year's winner of the Charles H. Towns Graduate Student Fellowship. But I won't tell you who it is. You gotta wait. 3 hours to go, folks. Especially for the winner. Okay, without more ado, please help me introduce and welcome